Well, hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. Speaking of frogs, did you know that this is Animal Week? That's right. I'm looking at biblical associations with different kinds of animals. I've looked at wild donkeys. Yesterday we had a chance to look at cattle. Today, I want to talk about one of the most significant metaphors in the Bible, and it deals with sheep. Now, sheep were very integral to the early Israelites' lifestyle, economy. They would use the horn of rams for containers to hold their oil. They used them to blow ceremonial trumpets. They used sheep and wool for commerce. They would trade and use it, in a sense, to pay taxes to foreign governments or receive tribute from foreign governments. It was always something that was integral to them because they were a nomadic-based group before they became agrarian or farm-based. And so sheep are very, very prominent in the Bible. The wool of sheep is often used as a symbol of purity. If you've ever been around sheep or dealt with sheep, you know that as they get as their wool grows out, it can discolor and things like that. But when they're freshly shaven, when you shear the wool, the new wool that comes out is just, on a white sheep, as white as can be. And so the idea of purity is associated with the wool of sheep. And that's why, for example, in the prophet Isaiah, he talks about, though your sins be as crimson, be as scarlet, be red, deep red, yet they will be made white like wool. You know, this whole concept of they'll be white as snow, and then the parallel is like wool, and that's like Isaiah 1, I don't know, 16 or 18, I think 18. So this idea of sheep and wool is very, very significant. It's something that was used to teach responsibility. So, Jesus will use a parable about how if you've got 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, you go and find it. But perhaps most of all, sheep are considered models of you and me. They're herd animals. They don't like to be alone. And the Bible teaches it's not good for a person to be alone. We need the fellowship of others. We need to be around others. Sheep are easily led astray. And you and I aren't that different. We got to watch who we hang around, because we'll tend to be like the people that we hang around. We'll tend to do what they do. You hang around people who go to church, you go to church. You hang around people who you don't. You hang around people who, whatever it is, we tend to be that way. And it was no different back in biblical times. And so with the idea of this, people being creatures of habit, people being creatures of community, we are very much like sheep. Now that also means that we're subject to some of the same problems sheep are. Not only being led astray, but we're quite defenseless against a marauding wolf, against a lion. And so sheep need a shepherd. And so do you and I. We need someone who will look after us, take care of us, who, if we go astray, will come find us and bring us home. And that's why there's a strong biblical metaphor in the Old Testament for the Messiah, in the New Testament for Yeshua, Jesus, being the Messiah, of a good shepherd who, like the 23rd Psalm says, leads us by still waters, who restores our soul, who takes care of us, who lays out the banquet table for us. That's what we need. And Jesus says he is the good shepherd who will lay down his life for his sheep. So as I'm thinking about sheep today, I'm thinking about myself, thinking about who I'm going to hang around, what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about how responsible I want to be. I'm thinking about how I want to be pure, but I'm also looking to the great shepherd and leaning on him and seeking to follow him as he guides me in this life. I hope you'll join me with that. And maybe the frog in my throat is something I can talk about tomorrow, because frogs are noticeable in the Bible. But for today, you've got your video thought. God bless you.